Wow, did you see that sort of blue light haze for a second? The environment is changing rapidly on this load-in. Hello everyone, and welcome back once again to Subnautica Below Zero. Can I have my stairs back, please? Thank you. And last time, we were able to finally do right by Sam and the entire team by curing the infection in that frozen Leviathan. Meaning that I believe we may have eliminated the potential for Kara to come back on this planet and subsequently on other planets if Altera got its hands on it. So the macro story has been completed, but what about the micro story? There's still the matter of freeing the architect who's still here. Literally as here as can be. I want to get Alan out of my head, but unfortunately we're still missing the tissue component. We found the fabricator, we found the skeleton and the organs, but there's still a piece missing. And I have no leads on where to even begin looking. So, I guess I'll have to begin looking. Well, maybe if we climb inside the sea truck, we can have some time to think. Look at us warming up as we crawl into our safety bubble. I love that. I love the feeling of actual insulation that we get. The snow falling on the skylight above, being able to see underwater in the front, and all this space to walk around. Let's get out of here. Actually, you know what? Why don't we sleep under the stars? And I'm not talking about these stars, I'm talking about making our own stars in these guys. Honestly, I'd rather be here than in a bed. Wow, you guys have not moved at all. Now, if I check the map, is there anywhere in particular that I would really like to see? Seems like I've already been to most places. Did you just zap that penguin? Hang on, wait. This is stupid, but I'm kind of curious to see if this will work. If I get out here... Oh no, look at that! I mean, there's weird stuff going on, but if I park in the middle of the creep vine, it actually doesn't poke through. Once again, I think it's utilizing some really weird draw coding, but hey, if it works, it works. I'll save you, Peeper. Get out of here. Peeper might have been zapped by that too, but that's alright. It's crazy how easy it is to traverse the landscape once you kind of know where everything is. Like, things that used to be huge discoveries are just kind of stopping at the gas station on the way to where you're actually going. But right now, I'm just kind of moving around in the hopes that I either see something that I didn't before, or Alan decides he's detected something. His last few discoveries haven't actually put a beacon on my HUD. Actually, it turns out it's a good thing that I brought this cotton anemone down here. Because I'm going to need a whole bunch of it if I am to do the next project, which is going to involve polyaniline. Was that like that before? Oh, okay, maybe it's just the overlay loading in. But in any case, I have the stuff I need. Maybe we try building something now? Architect organs.
So, Alan, you said your people came here in search of a cure?
I was a researcher.
You were a scientist? Like me?
My people regarded my scientific contributions with particular interest.
As I said, like me.
If that is your interpretation.
So, how did your valuable scientific mind wind up infected?
Not my mind, my body. Perhaps you should build the next component.
So you're totally fine with your organs to be just kind of floating out and about there, huh? Well, I suppose progress is progress. And the next one requires diamonds, plasteel, a whole lot of things, most of which we already have, but we really gotta wait on that young sea anemone to grow. As for the rest, you know, you said that you were held in high regard as a scientist, and seemingly shot down me before I even had a competing thesis. What if it turns out you're more of an Alan Wakefield type? Ooh, hello. There is an extremely deep trench right here. And it ends in some mineable kyanite. Yeah, a whole lot of little crevices in this biome, but nothing that really matters that much. I don't really feel like a lot of the game is built around the progression. Like, it gives us all these opportunities for, like, huge amounts of kyanite, and then there's, like, nothing to do with it. Like, there'll be entire materials that are kinda tough to make or find, and then you use them for, like, one thing. Okay, this should work. I take you, I take you, and I take you. That's one from each while keeping each of the anemones themselves. Nope, back into my... Where'd you go? Back into my inventory. Only seeds allowed in the planter. Thank you. Now we should have everything we need to make some polyaniline.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
By the way, I think the Leviathans are on vacation. I didn't see a single one on the way here. Oh, we need some salt. Let's just grab some salt from here and go into here to make some hydrochloric acid. And now we need gold and hydrochloric acid to make polyaniline. And now we've got all we need for the architect's skeleton. 2/3 of the way there. Really is too little too late, but hey, I would like the space to have some sort of purpose in the end. So if we just finish constructing a scanner room, it should save us a lot of last-minute searches for materials. There we go. And we should have more than enough power. Oh god. We do, however, need to strengthen this by quite a bit. This could not take much. Maybe the depth has something to do with it. Okay, we have lithium, we have titanium. We need to do something. There we go. Flooding down here is not something we need. There we go. Where else? Over here.
Hull integrity restored. Draining systems initiated.
First time we've had that happen. Anyway, if we use a ladder, these things should already be connected. So little titanium. My marble melons. Well, at least they're watered now. Not the prettiest thing, but also not our problem. Oof. Oh, look at that. This section is independently flooded. That's pretty cool. I suppose that would be the purpose of bulkheads. In this case, a round opening would be fine, right?
Integrity restored.
And we're
Draining
drained.
systems initiated.
Once again, it's got all of that, but it doesn't have automatic heating. Anyway, we can now see this. Ooh. Is there a separate branch in the caves? I've always been going down into the right. What about to the left? Okay, this may have actually been more useful than I thought. Oh, come on, are you really still flooded? Once again, Wile E. Coyote physics, where it only decided to recognize this once we climbed upstairs. Or maybe it started once the ladder was in and it just took a second to recognize it. Either way, the same applies. Hang on, wait, can I see the flooding from outside? That would be really funny. I can, look at that. I'm really hoping this glass ends up half empty soon. Flooding the nuclear reactor is totally fine, right? Anyways, we've always traveled to the right and down. What happens if we go left? It's possible that these caves just end up merging. It's always worth it to explore, right? Especially when we're missing one of Alan's parts. Soundtrack, why are you leaving me? Remember, there is an extra couple hundred meters that we have not had to make use of on our depth. And the fact that the sea truck only goes to 1,000, but the prawn to 1,100 has long had me suspicious. No, I think these caverns just merge. No, you don't. Okay. Hopefully you'll have some more dialogue for us after this, because I have no idea where to look for the tissue.
So you came here to search for a cure?
I led the mission.
Does that mean the bacteria got out on your watch?
This subject is uncomfortable. If you would like to know more, I will ask that you first construct the final component.
You have a very detached way of putting that, but you're clearly not detached from it yourself. There we are. That's 2 out of 3, but I don't know where to get the final part. The soundtrack seems to have taken on a cadence that suggests we're close, a sense of optimism. Of course, we don't really know who we're giving life to. The only thing I can think of is a couple episodes back when we crossed the bridge, Alan mentioned there being a body component nearby. I don't remember if we found anything or not. I think we might have found an artifact, but we definitely didn't find a body component, so now I'm just kind of heading all the way back there, and if we find something, then we're going to head all the way back down. We are very much in the, okay, hold down W for 5 minutes straight at a time stage of the game. There goes our base, coincidentally. I don't think there's anything I really need from there. You know, sometimes you just turn off the lights in this game and kind of drift through the dark at shallow level. And until that sun comes up, it's like you're flying through space instead of the water. I suppose, relative to where we came from, we are in space, huh? Anyways, there is the platform. And I think it's time for us to snowfox it up. I'm pretty sure I left it here. I could sleep in the sleeper, but I kind of think that it would be a good time to do some night snowfox running. You know, I only put up those floodlights so it could be dramatic for the last outro, but I'd say it works pretty well here.
Vital signs stabilizing.
Thank you. We'll find some heat jalapenos on the way. Man, these gotta be some of the most powerful headlights in the game, honestly. If we cross the bridge, the problem is going to be just finding out where we were before. These areas are really quite large. But if we can find... that, it was that severed cable. That severed cable was where he mentioned a body part was nearby. You're really going to give me damage for that soft of a landing onto snow? We've also got to worry about those worms. The reduction module is not something we have, so they'll be showing up at all times. Green light says architect. Let's see what's here. Come on. You gonna let me have some of these? Thank you. There it was. You say a body component is nearby. That's a very good indicator. But I don't know if we've ever found where that ends up. Just fix you up. And resume the hunt. I've noticed that you have to get moving. The free look is when you stop. The problem is when you're trying to maneuver. Following the green lights will probably help. Last time I was just trying to see as much as possible, not following anything in particular, but now we've got places to be. This would have been so much easier at night. Angling stash. Hey, I know you don't want to see me right now, but how's about if I invade your cave? Yes, there's a thing! And there we have it. Mineable ion cubes! And this platform, I would bet, regenerates them. Yes, this is the failsafe! I knew it. So in the first game, if you got to the final compound, there would be a generator that basically takes, I believe it was thermal energy from the planet's core, and turns it into these high-density ion cubes. And that was basically there because there were a finite number of these things in the game, and it would have otherwise been possible to softlock yourself. That made it extremely unlikely. I'm not sure I've been here before. All these boxes are closed. I'll take a med kit and a nutrient block, but there's... yeah, I'm not finding anything. Into this cave, maybe? I mean, hey, anywhere is better than with these guys, right? Prawn make it? It can. Ladder's here. I just have no way of knowing what I have and haven't already seen. I know I'm quite done with you. Ladders everywhere. And there's more of these things. Hang on, unique shape over there. Wow, this area is huge and open. This area is huge and open, which makes me feel like I should seek some shelter and maybe do some repairs. Possibly to myself while we're at it. At least to my ankles. My poor, poor ankles. Mech suits really go a long way here. Certainly better than a small exposed little hover bike. There we go. Okay, it's gotta be here because I don't recognize this. The alien stuff has to be a breadcrumb trail. In fact, I'm pretty sure Alan said something about spires earlier. It's been so friggin' long. Probably a couple of weeks of real time. You don't... crevice in the ice. I sure hope I can climb out of here. This has to be it. No matter what it is, anything we find here makes me feel like the opening scenes of The Thing. Except in this case, mysterious alien tissue is exactly what I'm after. This almost looks like some kind of alien surgical room. Large emerald. Pure emerald is typically colorless. These large crystals contain trace amounts of chromium, leading to the development of the distinctive green color seen here. Mining activity near these crystals suggests that they are valued for their applications in architect technology, and potentially in my technology? It's yours is mine, that's the deal for giving you a body, right? And potentially leading to the end of humanity as we know it? Are you... I'm sorry, this seems so downplayed, but it's a huge deal. Are you telling me there's an architect corpse underneath this cave-in? Architect tissue. A leather-like tissue sample of alien origin. DNA markers indicate a complex mixture, synthesized from over 20 different sources. The tissue sample incorporates advanced biocomposites, resulting in unique mechanical properties. Compression. Extremely high compressive strength protects against external forces, and may indicate adaptation to extreme environments. Impact. High resistance to damage from high-energy impacts. Elasticity. Low modulus of elasticity allows tissue to conform and stretch in response to body locomotion.
That is a rough way to go.
Yes, I would not enjoy being crushed while mining iron tube components.
The cold preserved the body well, but this isn't a big sample. Will it be enough?
Our tissues are pluripotent, derived from the DNA of various species, capable of changing form as necessary.
Like stem cells. So, what prevents you from, I don't know, ending up with hooves where your eyelashes should go?
That does not happen. At least not since the 4th iteration.
Interesting.
You have scanned all the components we need to make a story. Body.
Are you excited?
Using the chemical compounds available in your body, I am able to approximate what you might call cautious optimism.
Well, hold on to that feeling, because we need to make sure that this is, I suppose, 4th generation or beyond. Anyway, let's grab some of this. This isn't the respawning stuff, but at this stage it hardly matters. Look at all that. Even this alone is a huge win. I've actually long been curious, since even in the first game, materials don't often respawn, and they give you a lot. There are certain things like this in order to prevent soft locks, but I believe certain materials you could, if you were dedicated, like you'd have to try to make it happen, you could soft lock a save. Walking out of here at night is a whole other story. Wow. Patience is a whole kilometer away. These on-land segments are actually, like, huge. It's surprising. In these later stages of the game, we're spending almost more time above water than below. Actually, it's about this time I should probably have a look at what the tissue needs to build it. Otherwise, I'm going to be doing a whole lot more holding down W. Root pustule, gel sacks, which we can get down at deep base, and synthetic fibers. Actually, I have root pustules, and they may even be in the prawn. Yes, Marge has exactly what we need already, so one quick stop at base, and this is actually really easy to make. The end is finally within sight, or the beginning, I suppose, for Alan. Yeah. That is so cool. You know, those root pustules I actually harvested at the very beginning of the game. So, in a weird way, it's kind of a Chekhov's gun situation. I just grabbed them thinking, I can probably use them for something later. at this. I'm probably as fast as the Snow Fox anyway when I'm doing this whole diagonal walking thing. Yep. And definitely more equipped to survive a fall. Thank you very much. Yep. Hello?
We have gathered the necessary components to begin constructing my body.
Great. What's next? Let's get you out of my head.
Do you remember the fabrication facility? You must return there.
Right. The fabrication facility. So you always planned on needing to make new bodies?
It is a standard medical facility.
A medical facility where you just replace your whole body when it wears out? Sounds a little beyond standard to me.
Ours was a research mission of the highest importance. All of my people were not invited.
So, what were you, a scientist like me?
I am a scientist now.
So, what happened? Your team found the vaccine and then...
Please, Robin, you have the components. Return to the facility and construct the body.
Okay, but don't think I don't notice you changing the topic.
So just what was your role in this? Are you ashamed, or are you trying to avoid accountability, or do you think I wouldn't do this if I knew what your role was? In order to make synthetic fibers, we need to make a quick stop here and grab a clipping off of the spiral plant. Thank you very much.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
There we are. Just combine that with a ruby. And now what else do we need? Shouldn't be too much more, just the gel sacks and root pustules. Come back up to Marge, grab those things, and we have everything we need. We've just got to get down there. This base, I actually really came to like this one. I'm so glad that in this series I started on the base early on and just kept iterating on it as time progressed. And part of that was due to the nature of the game, where having a centralized base is a lot more viable than having many outposts. But I think that really incentivized me to kind of pretty it up and make it my own, instead of just having like the bare utilities that it needed. Still, I do wonder if there's going to be some way to leave at our own pace, or even just return to the save afterwards. The cool thing about Subnautica is that you can play it the way I've been doing for the series, which is trying first and foremost to accomplish the objectives. But it does make you kind of look around a lot in order to find those. I'm actually glad that it doesn't just kind of tell you where everything is. I was a little worried about that when it was giving me beacons left and right in the beginning, but really those are just kind of breadcrumbs to get you started rather than bring you to the end. All the same, it really allows you to build your base anywhere, to make a mobile base, to let you live in the world in a way that's customizable, and to tell your own story as you go. And this is literally a game about staring out windows and going, ooh, ah. And it enhances that by allowing you to build whatever windows you want, wherever you want. It means there's some replayability, and you don't even have to replay because there's no rush. That's the cool thing about this, there's no rush. You can take it entirely at your own pace and just make it into a building game if you want, and you can do that in the standard survival mode. Or you could truly just choose a game mode for as much or as little challenge as you want. The ability to customize the experience is, I don't know, this game is like, what were you thinking in some ways, and it is so cool that they thought of that in other ways. Up in Subnautica 2, they fixed their freaking save system. Here we are, home stretch. And I'll not have you stopping me when I'm right on the cusp of victory. As I often say, you don't just stop when you're on the cusp of things. Can you stop trying to eat me while I've already clearly escaped? Thank you. Now I'm turned around. Where do I have to go? I know I didn't even see you on the way here last time. Oh, down deep. Always down deeper. That's it. A standard medical facility. Did you really have to put it down here? Was it really that much easier?
You said this was the spot where I can make you a body, right?
Yes.
I mean, we've already made 2 out of 3 parts, so sure.
Once we use the fabricator to build each component, we can assemble them.
And then we can transfer you out of my head?
I am anticipating it as much as you are.
Well, let's see what happens when we put these things together.
This is the last piece. Soon I will be autonomous again.
What will you do with your newfound freedom?
I must return home to make amends.
Amends? For the bacterium? There seems to be a lot you're not telling me.
It is hard for me to find the words. I must collect my thoughts. We have all the necessary components. You may initiate body fabrication sequence from the terminal.
You still owe me an explanation.
I understand.
Let's hope that explanation is satisfactory. I'm starting to think you had a hand in creating this in the first place. Maybe you're not all that different from Altera.
Commence installation in fabrication. The escape of the bacterium was an accident. I thought my solution was foolproof. I was wrong.
Did you cause the accident?
Yes.
Oh,
I do not wish to speak about it.
we can come back to this.
The creation of a god while it speaks of its flaws. I'll 1v1 you if you try anything.
What are you doing?
Research. Tit for tat. You've probed my mind. I scan your body.
Fair enough. Architect Body. The complete physical architect vessel is a biotechnology and cybernetic hybrid, incorporating design elements from more than 20 DNA sources. The outer layer of tissue has the consistency of leather. The tissue is interlaced with channels of visibly glowing energy, powered by the alien's internal biotechnological heart. Alan has 6 articulated arms that are suspended around his body by magnetic levitation. These arms contain independent high-speed computing systems and are capable of performing tasks independently. The organic arms are considered secondary to the inorganic robot arms. These are used for mundane tasks that don't require much fine motor movement. The bottom half of the arms are covered in a biocomposite plating. The plating might serve as a form of armor. It also appears to store latent energy buildups like capacitors. The hooved legs are reminiscent of several species of mountain goats. The hooves are covered in microscopic hooks that aid in exploring rough and uneven terrain. The forelegs and the hind legs are oddly close together, which explains why walking might be a secondary mode of movement for this architect form. This architect body is able to teleport or blink short distances. The method is likely a scaled-down version of the teleportation gates, but the methodology is not well understood. It's likely that the architect's body is able to provide the massive amount of power necessary for this function. Matching DNA fragments appear to be derived from the following sources. Chromium boar of Caldwell Prime, an invasive species known for their extremely tough skin, which makes them hard to eradicate. Putty serpent of Apostocar. The snake has extremely tensile skin, prevents it from tearing, and allows it to compress itself into small spaces. Electrode eel of Lifton generates an electrically charged slime across its length. Astral rays from the moons of Mardon 14. These rays have small organs that generate and store electricity. Shaggy goats of Olympian. These herbivorous creatures live on the rocky foothills of the mountain planet Olympian and are excellent climbers. Giant geckos of Halt's asteroid. Massive geckos that emit an electrostatic charge on its footpads. This creates a charge difference in the surface the gecko is climbing. The markers of at least a dozen other biological species are present, but unrecognized at this time. So clearly, this was an evolution for you of your own making. These aren't your original bodies, if you even had original bodies. Oh, in you go.
Commencing data transfer.
Did it work? Are we...
It has been some time since I last stretched out in so many dimensions. Like waking from a dream.
Maybe you have learned something.
Whoa. Hey. You're really not in my head anymore?
There are some remnants. Would you like your memories of me removed as well?
Are you kidding? No way. You still owe me the end of your story.
I told you I must return home. To assess. Repair. Make amends.
Tell me more.
When the bacteria escaped, it was my fault. I disobeyed the directive from my network.
Oh no.
We noticed that a species of Leviathan young produced an enzyme that is efficient against the bacteria. I thought if we incubated sea dragon eggs, we might expedite their hatching. I was not wrong.
But...
It would appear that sea dragon parents are stronger and more motivated than our facility was rated to handle.
And the bacteria got out, infecting everything. How many survived the outbreak back home? Are they still waiting for someone to bring back a cure?
I do not know.
Can I help?
The fact that I withheld this information does not concern you.
It was certainly manipulative. And I've also made my own share of mistakes. I'm still committed to helping.
I accept your help. Find me at the gate when you are ready. In the meantime, I must prepare.
Signal location uploaded to PDA.
So that's that. We're able to go. And you were at the facility that we found in the caves in the first game. You were the reason the sea dragon attacked and destroyed it, and with it, the hopes of curing this thing. If you had played the long game, I was actually onto something. Everything here is adaptable. It would have survived on its own. It did survive on its own. You only needed to wait. But the temptation to fix everything now was too great, and I can't say that I wouldn't make the same call in that situation. Honestly, I can hardly blame you. You're nothing like Altera. I was wrong about that. Actually, there's something I've been meaning to try, and since we're about to dabble in teleportation, why don't we try it? If I take out this thing... Oh, by the way, you've gone and pulled a Houdini. Straight back to the sea truck. Not that it much matters, since I'm never really very far from it. Or if I am, I have equipment that I also need to bring back here. But at least we learned how it works. Game crashed. It crashed again. I figure I should stop by my base one more time for old time's sake. Actually, there is still a minor chore that I need to take care of. I would feel pretty bad if I didn't. Let's climb on in.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Of course, we've got to take some of this stuff with us. Some can stay here as a reminder, but others really should come with us. The important things, you know? Oh, and probably also this. Of course, we do have the real thing in our inventory. There is also the matter of you guys. Oh my god, wow. It's a rock grub apocalypse in here. I knew if you had two, they could reproduce, but my god, I didn't expect it would be this much this quickly. Alright, well, you know, it is tradition that I'll release my pretties. Where are you? You two. Look at you in my inventory. How am I even carrying you? Alright, we all knew this had to come sometime. The nest is about to be empty, and that means empty. Everyone's gotta go. Look, you've got your own natural reef to frolic in. So, away with you. Oof. And if we go a little further down, preferably away from the crash fish, away with you. Oop. You're a little disoriented there, but there you go. Be free. We're a one-woman conservation effort. Ah, screw you, you waterborne little jerk. Now, what to do about you guys? You're the things that are gonna infest this place when the power is gone and the place floods. Actually, I would like to see that, but I've still got to give you a fighting chance. I think that's the last of them. How many did we have in total? Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 14. 14 rock grubs from 2. These things are explosive breeders. Just one last check to make sure nobody got home alone. And it looks like we're good. Look, I'll even make you one of those little windows I was always planning to make so that if you get homesick, you can always come have a look. Come see the old crib. Anyway, it's just about time to release our pretties. You guys can just kind of float to the bottom right. Oh god, what have we done? Imagine the Cryptosuchus just like slings by and immediately eats everything. I don't think that's what just happened. But it would be really funny, and it provides an element of danger. See, we're game designing the next challenge for whoever comes upon this base. It's got everything, so it's got to be worth the risk. Actually, while we're here, some of you said that it is worthwhile to try and build the salad build, to make the salad. And so let's find some Preston's plant. There we go. No, not you. Preston's plant. We need this stuff. Might as well make sure the marble melon is coming in properly. Back to the fabricator. There we go. Surprisingly delicious salad with warming effects. Uses the fever pepper.
Fruit salad does not traditionally involve leaves, but at least it is nutritious and warming.
Wow, 85 food and 30 H2O. So if you have a Preston's Delight and a fever plant farm, you are basically made. Okay, I wish I had figured that out sooner. Alright, stick that in there. We're gonna start growing this stuff here, even if we're never gonna be around to use it. Hey, trees we're never gonna stand in the shade of, right? Now I hope this planet gets colonized. Well, obviously we gotta try and eat it, right? Look at that, it actually does put our hunger all the way up to 160. That is insane. Look at this prawn. Look at that horror movie shadow that's spreading over the terrain here. That could be an animated poster, I swear. And wait, can we make it so that it looks like it's reaching out to get us? Oh, we totally could. That is so funny. Lighting in games has reached such a crazy point, and we completely take it for granted, huh? Slim down your throat. Nom, 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 nom. Look, we can see our legs kicking as we fight against it. There we go. Nom, 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 nom. I might be getting just a little bit stir-crazy. I also checked the teleport module, and it uses like a third of an ion cube just to teleport, and I'll be honest, that's like a huge amount of energy. So it does make you work for it before you find the renewable source of ion cubes. That's a significant investment just to do it once. And I think that's my biggest criticism with this game, is that like so many crazy technologies and C-Truck modules and tools, they just don't seem very useful. Like, a lot of the time they seem like more effort than just doing something simpler. I think this should bring us up in the cave that we discovered last episode. Here we are, yes. Okay, C-Truck, this may be the last time we speak. Might as well end with you fully repaired, right? Maybe you'll be useful to somebody else. I'll be like the only one to actually leave fully working things behind. Marge, you're good? You've served me extremely well, and maybe you'll serve someone else in the future. I always think this way in survival games, think about what I'm leaving behind for the next person. What a great loot stash I provided. We gotta walk right past Sam's old haunt in order to get here, huh? Anyway. It's kind of crazy, the idea that she was at one point so distant, literal worlds away, and now we're walking the same ground she walked, something that was so mundane to her, her everyday work life, and it's this huge adventure to us. Meanwhile, we're actually kind of completing her work while we're at it. Like, there's so many different things that are coming full circle in this story. That is something that I like about this compared to the first one, is how it's not just one story, it's many that all converge. Worlds apart and eons apart. Alan, you here? If you're gonna double-cross me, now would be the time to do it, but at this point I don't think that's what you're working towards. Seems like things are working in there that were not working before. Once more, my shadow scares the crap out of me.
Are you preparing to leave, Alan?
Yes, there is much to do.
Like, teach me how to do that? Wow.
Do you still wish to leave with me? Beyond this teleporter, there is no turning back.
Are you kidding? I can't pass up a chance to see where architects come from. Besides, I don't have another ride.
I do not know what we will find there. The others may be sick or angry, if they live at all.
Or you could find peace. Family.
I hope you are right. Please complete any business you still have on this planet. Join me on the other side when you are ready to leave.
I'm not going home, but to where this leads. I mean, that should have been obvious. There was never any indication that you could send me wherever. It was always said to go to the other end. I had just gotten it in my head that we would be going our separate ways, but that was never a possibility. But you don't seem all that worried by it. And I suppose, why would you? Like Alan, you've got nothing left to lose. You don't have a sister to go back to. You do have a cat to feed. Robin, you do have a cat to feed. but if there's any space travel technology that can get you home in time, this would be it, right? Even still, like you said, we don't know what we'll find there. Going through, either way, is a huge commitment, and there's no going back. There's no way to recover the life we have before or after. And now there is.
Robin, you're just in time. The phase gate is opening.
You've been hiding a phase gate here this whole time.
Only for the last millennium. It will lead us home.
No wonder you hid yourself from Altera.
It was imperative to keep the homeworld safe, in hopes that the others survived.
Yeah.
Will you help me prepare the ship? The energy masts must be moved into place.
Well, this is different.
You literally lent me a hand! That is so cool. Look, we just kind of float down instead of falling. Alright, how do we do this then? We can use our grips to pull these things back up and hover alongside them. Sorry, Alan. Might take a little bit of getting used to. Anything else? That one is downed as well. How about you? Would have been kind of an anticlimax, huh? Imagine if it just cut to credits right there.
Very good. Return to me and I will initiate ship assembly.
This whole thing is your own fabricator. Just a bigger version of our own mobile fabricator. Here you go, bud.
Thank you. The masts are in place. The energy field is ready. There is no time to lose.
Oh, what's another couple thousand years?
Join me, Robin.
I will. First time we're seeing a full, complete craft from you, and, well, like everything else you do, there's a beauty and elegance in its simplicity. I think that's what I've always liked about you, Alan. New perspectives await. Unless you're gonna actively push me away. There we go.
I apologize. The levitator was calibrated for heavier bodies. I would have helped you to your feet, but as you can see, I have been fully integrated with the ship.
Oh, right,
Is
of
this
course.
Permanent?
Nothing is permanent. Are you ready to go?
Yes. I found the answers I was looking for. I'm ready to move on. I can't bring Sam back. But I know she died fighting, and I got to finish her work. I'll always carry her memory.
Good. Please brace yourself, and then we will depart.
Scientist's dream. Only question, brace myself against what exactly? There's not a whole lot to grip onto here.
Launching in 3, 2, 1.
What will we find when we get there?
If I am the last of my kind, I will experience the sorrow of 10,000 souls dimming.
No
And if
way.
they survived?
With you, I am ready to face whatever awaits.
That was so cool. And that was Subnautica Below Zero. And I have to say, I enjoyed that a lot more than I thought I would. I mean, sure, it doesn't have the same depths, it doesn't have the same scariness, and really, in a lot of ways, it doesn't have the same massive scale as the first game. But it definitely has its moments, such as in the end there. That whole final sequence, it feels... You know, I wanted to say it feels so final, but it doesn't. It feels like we're pushing forward into the next adventure. It's the best kind of ending for something like this in that it doesn't feel like an ending at all. And thankfully, we experienced all this with a character who embraces that. I know a lot of people didn't like the idea of a voiced protagonist, but I think for the style of narrative that this was going for, it fit, and I really liked having Robin and Alan as company during all of this. I mean, in the first game, we were more stranded castaways. Here, it was much more about answering some of the unanswered questions of the first one. I mean, there's a reason it's not called Subnautica 2. It very much feels like it's building off of that. And I feel like in the contrast between Altera and the Architects, we get a glimpse of two different kinds of future. Where with Altera, we have the technocratic oligarchy that kind of... It's sort of a smiley face on a very repressed life. The kind of thing where humans are very advanced technologically and scientifically, but aren't allowed to develop in the way that matters. Where the Architects are much more utilitarian in their thinking, but much less repressed in the way they treat themselves and others. They're actually, oddly enough, in their smaller thinking, they're much more open-minded. And in the end, we kind of meet in the middle and make each other better. Because, hey, he looked at the previous expedition and realized they were not the ones to help, but we were. It's cool because Robin is introspective and rebellious, but she still comes from that society. And so I feel like through the questions and like having to explain her perspective to Alan, I feel like she even learns a little bit about herself and what she wants. And the same is true for Alan. I think there's some level of envy, or at least curiosity, in the way we perceive things. That's great because it does have you approaching everything from a scientist's perspective. It encourages you to learn not just about the local fauna, but also about the plant life and the geological formations and of course the technology. And you're always using it to better yourself and improve your own standing. But it also allows you to understand things better And I think it's just good to put the player in the mindset that learning is a virtue. That said, there definitely are some problems with the progression. There are a lot of tools and stuff that I don't really feel like are all that useful for how much effort they are to build. And honestly, there were a lot of things I just never figured out how to build. There were certain fragments that I just never got. And it's not like it's a huge area to explore either. But I think that was better. It really cut down on the tedium in a lot of ways. And plus, some experience with the first game probably helped with that as well. It's a game that indulges your sense of wonder, no matter what you're most interested in. For a lot of people, it'll probably be the animals and watching their behavior as they just kind of hang out and do stuff. I mean, even these guys right here, look at them. Look at all the little subtleties in their animations, in the way they look. And if you want to learn more about them, you can scan them, look into the details of their physiology and behavior. Even things you won't even necessarily see, but it's got those details for the people who care to know. Or maybe it's the exploration that does it for you, getting in your sea truck or your prawn and making your way through these hostile yet nevertheless beautiful and vast and fantastical environments. Or is it the archaeology, either alien or human, and learning about who was there and what it was used for, and the stories that took place right where you're standing, and what happened between then and now? Or maybe it's the thrill-seeking, maybe you like going deeper and deeper, maybe that's what motivates you. That definitely motivated me. Going into darker and more dangerous places until eventually you come to the secrets that are down where even Marguerite hasn't gotten to. There's actually a lot going on in a much smaller area, and, you know, if you're like me, maybe you enjoy that greater density. I can kind of appreciate both for the different experiences that they are, and I definitely think it's a worthy follow-up. It's almost like humans and architects are the missing pieces of each other, and together, who knows what they can do. Maybe we'll learn more about that in Subnautica too, but until then, if you like this series, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this game out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one. I know this is just the outro for the patron crawl, but I see now that the light show we were getting before was a glitch. I kind of suspected as much. Yep, there it is! Okay, we'll do it over here then.